February 11, 2026, centre ice at the Medialanum Forum in Milan. Madison, Chock and Evan Bates didn't just stand there, they commanded the arena like royalty. This was the curtain call, the final showdown, the last time they would ever compete on the world stage. They had just unleashed their painted black free dance, a dark rhythmic tour de force that fused the fire of traditional Spanish flamenco with a gritty dystopian edge. For 4 breathless minutes, the audience didn't see skaters. They witnessed a matador and a bull locked in a lethal high-stakes duel. The technical precision was absolute. Every lift, every twizzle hit level 4. When the music cut, the roar from the stands was deafening loud enough to shake the streets of the fashion capital. Then the air got sucked out of the room. The Jumbotron flashed the numbers 134.67. A season best? Sure. Enough for Goldnum. In a twist now known as the robbery in Milan, the Americans were stripped of the title by the French duo Laurence Fournier, Baudry and Guillaume Cizeron by a heartbreaking 1.43 margin. The internet exploded instantly with hashtags about a French judge scandal. A deep dive into the data revealed a massive red flag: the French judge allegedly threw a near-perfect technical score to her own team while burying the Americans. In a game decided by the width of a blade, that single-point discrepancy hit like an earthquake. For Madison and Evan, the 3-time defending world champs, that silver medal tasted like ash. After 15 years together, they finally grabbed individual Olympic hardware, only to have their golden farewell eclipsed by controversy. To really get why this silver weighs a ton, you have to rewind the tape on the 15-year grind that got them here. They weren't always a unit. In fact, they started as enemies. Madison, a Redondo Beach girl, was born to a Hawaiian flight attendant and a backup singer. At 12 years old, she packed her bags for Michigan with one obsession: finding the best coaching on the planet. She was an artist from day one, sketching her own dress designs and mapping out choreography in her spiral notebooks. Across the rink stood Evan Bates, a local Ann Arbor kid and the 52nd member of his family to wear the maize and blue of the University of Michigan. He was the textbook student athlete juggling college exams with the punishing schedule of an elite competitor. The price tag for this dream, absolutely staggering. Between academy fees in Montreal, top-tier choreography and gear, a 15-year run costs about $1.2 million. But the body pays a steeper tax. September 2010 brought a nightmare scenario that should have ended it all. During a practice lift, his partner's blade sliced right through Evan's Achilles tendon. A complete severance. Specialists told him to forget the Olympics, he'd be lucky to walk without a limp. After 90 minutes on the operating table and 6 months in a cast, he had to teach his foot how to function again. That tragedy, combined with the retirement of Madison's partner Greg Zuerlein, paved the way for their union in the spring of 2011. It wasn't just cash on the line. They poured every ounce of their physical survival into those 4 minutes in Milan. For the first 7 years, Chock and Bates were just the scrappy underdogs. Always in the top 10, always solid, but stuck in the colossal shadow of legends like Merrill Davis and Charlie White. 8th in Sochi, 9th in Pyeongchang finishes that usually signal retirement. But 2018 marked the turning point. After flopping in South Korea, they pushed all their chips to the center of the table. They uprooted their lives and moved to Montreal to train under the genius minds of Marie-France Dubreuil and Patrice Lauzon. It was a total renaissance. They quit trying to tick boxes on a scorecard and started painting pictures on the ice. This pivot unleashed a latent artistic beast in both of them that the world hadn't seen coming. Madison leveraged her design eye to curate their aesthetic, and suddenly their routines were going viral. Remember the snake charmer routine? Madison's reptilian fluidity broke the internet and became a global meme. Then came the Daft Punk rhythm dance, injecting a shot of neon adrenaline into a traditional sport. And the astronaut and alien saga, a cosmic romance that cemented their status as the most innovative duo in history. By the time they hit Milan, they weren't just skaters anymore. They were performance artists on steel blades. But the real hook for the fans, that undeniable love story. For 6 years, they were strictly platonic, just teammates. Group dinners, other dates, zero romance. The dam finally broke in 2017. On a flight, Evan blurted out his feelings, and as the cliché goes, the rest is history. They became a power couple off the ice, sharing a Montreal home with their 2 toy poodles, Stella and Henry. In June 2024, they made it official with a magical seaside wedding in Waikiki. For Madison, it was a massive homecoming, celebrating on the soil where her parents were raised. Their coach officiated the ceremony and they performed a lei exchange, a symbol of two spirits fusing into a powerful whole. So when they stepped onto that ice in Milan, they made history as the first married American figure skating duo to ever compete at the Games. That deep personal connection rewrites the laws of physics on the ice. You feel it the second the music starts for Paint It Black. It unlocks a tier of blind faith, enabling lifts and transitions that would be physically impossible for strangers to even attempt. This isn't performance art, it's their reality on blades. Watch that signature curve-to-curve lift. When Madison throws herself into the void, she doesn't flinch, not for a second. Because she knows the hands catching her belong to the man she's trusted with her life for 15 years. Now, let's dissect the genius of their Olympic finale. For the 2026 season, Madison Chock rolled the dice on a massive creative gamble. She self-designed the Paint It Black look, featuring a blood-red skirt that flowed like a river, wielding it like a matador's cape in the heat of battle. Coaches Patrice and Marie-France were practically having heart attacks. In elite ice dance, excess fabric isn't just annoying, it's a death trap. One caught blade, one tangled fold during a stationary lift, and you're looking at a catastrophic season-ending disaster. Madison had to master fabric manipulation while tearing across the ice at 30 miles per hour on a razor-thin steel edge. They flew in a flamenco master from Madrid to dial in that staccato rhythm, channeling the raw percussive violence of a bullfight. By the time they hit Milan, that skirt was effectively the third partner on the ice, creating a visual spectacle no rival could touch. The combination lift racked up a massive 15.29 score, a technical masterclass that arguably deserved the gold right then and there. Silver medal notwithstanding, Madison's design is going down in history as one of the most iconic and dangerous looks to ever grace Olympic ice. She shattered the mold, proving you can be a ruthless athlete and a high-fashion icon, simultaneously betting her safety on the perfect visual. While individual gold slipped away by a razor-thin margin, Evan Bates received a tribute that means more than any score the judges could post. On Friday, February 20th, 2026, Team USA voted Evan as their flag bearer for the Milan closing ceremony, sharing the spotlight with hockey legend Hilary Knight. The clip of Madison breaking the news to him in front of the squad instantly set the internet on fire. Evan broke down, visibly weeping as the massive weight of that honor hit him. He became the first figure skater to lead the American delegation since Scott Hamilton back in 1980, a nod to his insane longevity. Bates stands alone as the only American figure skater to battle in 5 Winter Games: Vancouver, Sochi, Pyeongchang, Beijing, and Milan. After 20 years of sweating in Team USA gear, his peers demanded his final walk be right at the front of the pack. He departs Italy carrying 3 career Olympic medals, 2 team golds, and 1 individual silver, tying him with titans like Nathan Chen and Merrill Davis for the most in US history. So is this the final curtain? In their exit interviews from Milan, Madison and Evan were in a deeply reflective mood. While they haven't dropped the R word just yet, they're talking about their career like a book that's been fully written. We're talking 3 world titles, 8 Grand Prix victories, and 7 national championships. The resume is bulletproof. Success for Chock and Bates in 2026 isn't measured by a 1.43 scoring gap. It's measured by the fact that after 15 years of severed Achilles tendons, heartbreaking spills, and judging controversies, they're still out there holding hands. They proved a partnership can be a sanctuary in a brutal sport. The gold might be sitting in a French trophy case, but the legend of Chock and Bates is etched in stone. They didn't just chase hardware, they crafted a 15-year romance that stole the world's heart. The Matador has taken her final bow, the Bull has found his peace, and the crowned royals of Milan are finally heading home.